The snow had started falling 20 minutes ago, and Maya Rodriguez was beginning to panic. Her car had died on the side of Route 47, halfway between her apartment and the restaurant where she was supposed to meet her blind date. No heat, no lights, and her phone showed only 12% battery. She sat in the dark, cold seeping through her brown coat, trying to decide what to do. Call a tow truck and miss the date entirely? Walk 3 miles in the snow? She'd already texted her date to say she was running late, but that was 15 minutes ago and he hadn't responded. Maya was 34, a social worker who spent her days helping families navigate crisis. But right now, sitting alone on a dark highway in a snowstorm, she felt utterly helpless. Her friend Jenna had set up this blind date, insisting that Maya needed to get back out there after her divorce 2 years ago. His name is Connor. He's a single dad, works in construction, super reliable. You'll love him. Maya had agreed reluctantly. Dating felt exhausting. The apps were terrible, the men were worse. But Jenna had been persistent, and Maya had finally given in. Now she was going to miss the date entirely because her 10-year-old Honda had decided tonight was the night to give up. Headlights appeared in her rearview mirror. A truck slowed and pulled up behind her, its hazard lights flashing. Maya's first instinct was fear, a woman alone on a dark road with a stranger approaching. But the alternative was freezing to death in her car. The truck door opened and a man got out, tall, maybe late 30s, wearing work clothes and a heavy jacket. He approached her window carefully, staying visible, not threatening. Maya cracked the window. "I'm fine, I already called for help." It was a lie, but a protective one. "Ma'am, I'm a mechanic. Well, construction foreman, but I know cars. It's getting bad out here. Let me at least look under your hood, see if it's something simple. If not, I'll wait with you until your tow truck arrives. You shouldn't be out here alone in this weather." Something about his voice, calm and genuinely concerned, made Maya trust him. She popped the hood. The man introduced himself as Connor while he examined her engine with a flashlight. "Alternator's shot. Battery's dead as a result. You're not going anywhere without a jump and a new alternator. Connor," the same name as her blind date. Maya almost laughed at the coincidence. "I can jump your battery to get you started, but you won't make it far. Where are you headed? Maybe I can at least get you somewhere warm." "I was supposed to meet someone at Brennan's Steakhouse," Maya said, "but I think that's not happening tonight." Connor looked up from the engine, surprised. "Brennan's? On Oak Street?" "Yeah, why?" "Because that's where I was headed. I'm supposed to meet someone there too. A blind date my friend set up." They stared at each other as understanding dawned. The snow fell harder around them, nature conspiring to turn a disaster into something else entirely. "Maya?" Connor asked. "Connor?" Maya replied. He laughed, a genuine sound that cut through the cold. "Well, this is not how I imagined tonight going. I got your text saying you were running late, but I figured you'd changed your mind. I was sitting in the parking lot of the restaurant trying to decide if I should wait or just go home. I was trying to get there," Maya said. "My car had other plans." "Come on," Connor said. "Let me jump your battery. We'll get you to a garage, and then we can still have that date. Unless you want to call it off, which I'd completely understand given the circumstances." "Honestly," Maya said, "this is already more interesting than any first date I've been on in years." Connor got her car started with jumper cables from his truck. He followed her to an all-night garage, where the mechanic confirmed the alternator was dead and could be replaced in the morning. Connor offered to drive Maya home, but she surprised herself by suggesting they still go to dinner. "I'm already out," she said, "and I'm starving. And you're clearly not an axe murderer since you're the person I was supposed to meet anyway." They ended up at a diner instead of the fancy steakhouse, sitting in a worn booth with mugs of hot coffee and plates of breakfast food even though it was 8 p.m. The informal setting made conversation easier. Connor told her about his daughter Lily, who was 9 and wanted to be an astronaut, about his ex-wife who'd left when Lily was 4, deciding motherhood wasn't for her, about the construction company he'd built from nothing, working his way up from laborer to foreman to owner. "I almost canceled tonight," Connor admitted. "I've been on maybe 5 dates since my divorce, and they've all been disasters. The last woman spent the entire dinner on her phone. Another one told me single dads were too complicated and left before appetizers arrived. Maya understood completely. My ex-husband told me I was too focused on my work, too intense about helping other people. He wanted someone who'd make him the center of her universe. When I couldn't do that, he found someone who would. That's ridiculous, Connor said. Being passionate about helping people is admirable, not a character flaw. That's what I thought, Maya said. But after enough rejection, you start wondering if everyone else is right and you're wrong. You're not wrong, Connor said firmly. And anyone who makes you feel that way doesn't deserve you. They talked until the diner staff started stacking chairs. When Connor drove Maya home, they sat in his truck outside her apartment for another hour, neither wanting the night to end. This was the weirdest first date I've ever been on, Maya said, and somehow the best one. Same, Connor agreed, though I'm sorry about your car. That alternator replacement isn't going to be cheap. Worth it, Maya said. If my car hadn't broken down, we would have had a formal, awkward dinner at a fancy restaurant. Instead, we had breakfast food at midnight and actual conversation. I think your truck's alternator saved us from a terrible first impression. My alternator? Connor laughed. Your car's the one that died. Exactly. My car sacrificed itself so we could have a real date instead of a performance. Connor looked at her, something warm in his expression. Can I see you again? Somewhere that doesn't involve car trouble or snowstorms? I'd like that, Maya said over the next 6 months. Maya and Connor built something real. She met Lily, who was initially skeptical but warmed up when she learned Maya ran art therapy groups for kids. Connor met Maya's teenage nephew, who she'd helped raise after her sister's death, and bonded with him over construction projects. They were honest about their baggage. Connor's fear of being abandoned again. Maya's tendency to work too much and neglect her own needs. They talked through conflicts instead of avoiding them. They showed up for each other's kids. They built slowly, intentionally, with the care of two people who'd been hurt before and didn't want to repeat mistakes. 1 year after the night her car broke down, Maya and Connor returned to that same stretch of Route 47. It was summer now, warm and clear. They pulled over at the exact spot where they'd met. I was so frustrated that night, Maya said. Angry at my car, at myself for agreeing to a blind date I didn't want to go on. And then you showed up. I almost didn't stop, Connor admitted. I was running late for our date and I was already anxious. But my dad always stopped to help stranded drivers. He said you never know when you might be saving someone's life, so I pulled over out of habit. I'm glad your dad taught you that, Maya said. Connor pulled a small box from his pocket. Me too, because that habit led me to you. He opened the box to reveal a simple, beautiful ring. Maya Rodriguez, you're the most genuine, caring, stubborn person I've ever met. You make me want to be better. You make Lily laugh. You've shown me that love doesn't have to be complicated or painful. It can just be two people choosing each other every day. Will you marry me? Maya was crying, laughing, nodding all at once. Yes, absolutely yes. I had a whole speech planned, Connor said, sliding the ring onto her finger, about how you're like an alternator, keeping everything running. But that metaphor got weird fast. Very weird, Maya agreed. But I appreciate the effort. They were married 6 months later in a small ceremony. Lily was the maid of honor and insisted on making a speech about how Maya was pretty cool for a stepmom and had taught her that girls could like both makeup and astronauts. At the reception, Maya's friend Jenna pulled her aside. I still can't believe your car broke down on the way to your blind date and the guy you were meeting stopped to help you. What are the odds? Maybe it wasn't odds, Maya said, watching Connor dance with Lily. Maybe it was just the universe making sure we didn't waste time on a forgettable first date. Maybe sometimes things fall apart exactly when they need to so something better can come together. If this story warmed your heart, please like and share it with someone who believes in timing, fate, and the possibility that disasters can become blessings. Subscribe for more stories about finding love in unexpected moments, and comment below about a time something went wrong that led to something going right. Your story might help someone see their current difficulty as a future gift.